guys, Mike here. Okay, cool. Here's our first video. Hopefully we're gonna get this all streaming up and going. We're gonna get more of these. Alright, so I've managed to arrange a full HD camera. Thank you, Colin, for that. Basically, we've got a full HD HP camera. I'm still busy working on lighting and all that, so please bear with me. I'm busy working on what's the best place to sit and film. So, alright, cool. First things first. Thanks, Owen. I have to thank you as well, just for the fact that you actually came up with the actual whole, came up to me and approached me and said, look, we need to start doing reviews, or just giving me the idea of it. So I just want to put that up. Thank you, Owen, and I appreciate it. And then next thing on the list is, okay, cool. I promised you guys that we're going to do a review on our gear bags, or my gear bag in particular. So what I did is I just literally dug in, and I thought I took out the most priority thing first, and that I would suppose is our masks. Our masks are our first line of defense. If we don't want to lose our eyes, this is what helps us with that. So basically, whenever somebody comes up to me and actually asks me, I want to get into paintball, but I don't know what to get, and the first thing I would suggest over to them would be a physical paintball mask. Any brand, it doesn't matter what you get, you can upgrade later. Get yourself a decent mask for yourself. The reason for it is because, one, if you're going out to a rental field, some of the masks aren't the greatest, and the foam's falling apart, and they fog up as you're playing, so it's really not a very pleasant experience. So if you get your own mask, you get that fresh smell out of it, and you get to filthy it up with your own stuff, so you don't, at least you know that you're the one that's making everything dirty, and not somebody else that's been playing in it. The next thing I would put up to where to buy masks. Okay, basically I've got two masks in my gear bag. I keep one for my main, which is my Empire Events. Oops, sorry about that. My Empire Events. This one's my main mask I play with, just for the fact that I blend in with everybody else on the team, and the fact that I can breathe and communicate easily in this. But I'll go through each and every pro and con with each and every individual mask. And then I've got my spare mask, which is my Dye i4, but this one I've had since I started paintballing, and that was about 4 years ago when I first started in the speedball scene. Alright, so let's start with, let's go with the i4. Alright, cool. i4, it's a brilliant mask. I have no flaws to it. As I said, this was my main mask for the last 4 years, or last 3 years, because I stopped using it maybe about last year, but I still use it every now and again whenever I feel like it. So, where to buy these type of masks? This is the Dye i4. This is one of the first ones that actually came out, so you'll get different colors compared to this regular standard red black. Dye, our major dealers, it would be Blades and Triggers. They are first line of dealers, or our biggest dealer of dye products in South Africa. So you can maybe have a look at Blades and Triggers first. But because how popular the i4s are, you can basically find these anywhere, and I mean anywhere. Any paintball store, you walk in there, you say, hey, look, I'm looking for a Dye i4, they'll have one on the shelf. I can't tell you, I can't promise you on colors, but they'll definitely have one of these masks on the shelf. So you can basically find these absolutely anywhere in South Africa. Pricing wise, unfortunately the i4s are a little bit more pricey, but for what you're actually paying for one, you get awesome looks. It's just a really sexy mask. And then secondly is just the ingenuity. I mean, quick change lens. This lens system's pretty quick. It just pops out. There's no real struggles or hassles. And yeah, no, that you actually get what you pay for. And then thirdly is the foam. I wish I could actually bring it over to you guys, basically the foam, not sure if I can get this. Okay, so the foam, as you see this little strip over here, okay, as you see the foam, okay, mine is horribly worn out, so please don't compare mine with what you're going to get new. But I just want to show you this video here, just to give you a comparison on how the foam feels like. Alright, so basically you have three major sections. You have two major sections. You have this top piece over here, alright, and then you have on the inner mask that piece in the middle that goes and sits right above your nose. Alright, so foam wise, it is really soft. I mean, if you just look at that, I'm not putting a lot of pressure in it. It's literally just touch feel, and that just goes right in. So feel wise, this thing is a really, really awesome mask. Alright. So feel wise, the mask is really, really comfortable when it's actually sitting on your face. As you saw on the foam itself, it's really soft. It just hugs right onto your face, and the fact that it's so light, it literally feels like when you're walking, put it on and you're walking on the field, you're not wearing anything at all. So this is like right on your face, and it's really one with you as a player. Our next thing is field of vision. Field of vision is basically my basis of how much I can see when I'm actually wearing the mask. So as you see here, this entire black piece over here is basically the lens, and it's a solid piece. When you actually put it on, very little actually gets covered where you can't actually see. So your field of vision is very, very wide. One of the widest, in fact, out of all the masks that I currently have played with on the field. I know some people like to tilt their heads back. Apparently, when you tilt your head back, you can actually see a little bit of a wider field, even broader than what you already see with normal vision like this. But what they do is they tilt their head back and they look through the top piece of the actual lens, and that apparently increases your field of vision. But it's just what I've heard. I haven't actually really tried it. So give it a try. Maybe it helps you out. If it does, then just give a comment on the bottom and help your fellow ballers that own this mask to maybe get an edge on their game. I mean, better competition means more fun for us, right? Okay, and the next thing is venting. The venting on the i4 is pretty restricted for my liking, unfortunately. But basically, there's a lot of venting. Not saying that it will fog up. So basically, you have this top venting over here, which lets hot air rise. Then we also got the front vents over here, and a couple of venting over here on the sides. So there is plenty venting, but it's just a matter of how you as a person breathe. For one, I breathe very, very big breaths. So what I tend to find when I'm wearing this mask is when I breathe in, gulps of air come in and they're fresh, which is nice. But as soon as I try to breathe out, I struggle a bit, because the thing is, the vents are positioned in such an angle where air can come in but it can't go out the same way, especially here in the front. So what tends to happen is, as soon as you breathe out, all that hot air starts pushing to the back of your head, and that goes straight into your ears. So you can imagine when you're actually shouting how bad that actually sounds, and you're literally going to blow an eardrum. But other than that, you're not going to have issues with fogging. You're not going to have issues where you're going to pass out as soon as you start running or something like that. So I would say it's sufficient, but I would have liked a little bit wider venting, or at least a different positioning of the venting in the front here especially, so that you don't get that blowback effect where everything just rushes to the back of your head. And then that covers that section. Durability. Alright, durability. Sorry guys, I'm busy checking a checklist on what I can review for you guys. Basic durability is my preference of how long the mask can last. I've had this mask for about 4 years right now, and this thing's still decent, other than bits and pieces of the foam, but that's recoverable. I've managed to find some foam friendly super glue, and basically if pieces of foam fall out, you can basically just glue it back on, and it works wonders. I'll maybe post that up, what brand it is. Unfortunately, I don't know really. Okay, but anyways, my foam has been falling apart after the last 3 years. 3 years. I only started repairing it last year. But after that one application of that glue, it's stuck there, and it's not going anywhere. So for 4 years, this thing's taken quite a bit. I mean, I've had my decent fair share of face plants, and this thing's survived each and every single one. I've swapped out a few lenses. I did notice that the dye lenses tend to scratch a bit, fairly easy to scratch. So that's also something that you might want to keep in mind, keep in your budget. So yeah, you see, the thing is, nothing lasts forever, but the thing is, for how long I've played with it and what it's been through, this thing's really survived hell and back. I don't know if you guys can see, but basically you can see the plastic starting to peel off and all that, but that's just because of me diving and face planting, so nothing major on that. But honestly, if you buy it new, it's going to last you a very, very long time. And I am known to actually treat my gear, especially my protective gear, pretty badly, and I have a reputation for plowing through my protective gear. I change maybe once a year. But yeah, no, this mask is awesome. It's survived my entire 4 years, and yeah, that's about that. The ears. Alright, the dye ears are a nice soft ear. It's not like your hard foam ears like your Slides and all those other masks. It's not a solid piece on the mask, and I tend to like it that way. It just makes it a bit easier to fit, and the fact that you can actually hear better with it. Okay, so basically it's like a hardish foam with material wrapped around it, and it's pretty flexible, and it does its job. It protects you. I've taken a couple of shots to the ear, and I've survived them, but just bear in mind when you get whacked on the ear, because it's a soft ear, it goes straight in, and yeah, you hear ringing once you get whacked. So but otherwise, audio, when you're actually on the field and you're listening for teammates, that goes pretty well. You can hear pretty well with this. But as I said, when you're actually speaking, your voice doesn't really project very well with the venting in the front. But the ears, they're awesome. They do their job. That's basically that. Not much you can really say about that. The overall build itself, I would say it's a decent build. It's very light. It's when you actually put it on, you don't really feel it at all, and that's one good thing about a mask, is it mustn't get in your way. When you're actually playing, you want to play, the mask and all your other equipment should be the last of your worries. So overall, what it does a very, very fairly good job on it. And as I said, this thing's lasted me for 4 years, so durability wise, it's got a 10 out of 10. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. I mean, if you can kill it for 4 years, carry on playing with it. The actual lens system is pretty easy to change. There's like little tabs on the inside. Basically, it just holds and hinges, and what you do is you just press this tab where my finger is. Sorry, there. Where my finger is there, you can just literally press the tab, and let's see if I can't maybe try get a closer shot for you guys. Let's see. Alright, please bear with me. I'm doing this with one hand, so it's going to be a little bit harder than what I expected. Okay, so basically if you have a look there, there's a little plastic tab over here, and that is basically the lock system for the hinge that holds your actual mask together, or the lens in place. So basically if you want to free it open, just press down on that tab, press it all the way down to the bottom, and you'll hear a click. As soon as you hear that click, you can push this piece in the front forward. As soon as you press it forward, that unlocks the hinge system. It's basically like a little hook. It kind of like sits like that on the inside, and your mask, there's a hole, or your lens, there's a hole, and then that hole, or this little clip, goes into the hole, and whenever you pull it back, it clips into place like that. So basically you just push it forward, and you do the exact same on the other side. Sorry, bear with me guys, I'm doing it with one hand here. Click, push it forward. Alright, I don't know, I think most of you that have met me, I love my double straps. So I've got two straps here, so it does become a bit bulky. So the way you actually release it does, or the way you take out the lens does become a little bit more cumbersome because of all the bulk extra on the actual straps themselves, because it puts in so much more tension. So yeah, basically after you've got both hinges unclipped, you can literally just push on the front of the mask and the lens pops out. Sorry guys, as I said, I'm still trying to get a tripod, so I'm doing this with one hand, and yeah, it's not going very well. Okay, there you go. Alright, also another tip for you guys in case it happens to you as well. My mask tends, whenever I pop those clips forward, the lens tends to go with those hooks. So what I do is I push the actual hook back a little bit more, or push the lens back in, and I tug at the back of these, and that kind of unhooks the actual hook. As soon as you feel your lens start wiggling, then that's basically the sign that says, okay, you can pull it out. So basically that's that. There's the lens. That's a solid piece there, you see it. Alright, and basically your mask frame will look somewhat like that, very bare bones. That's how it looks. Alright, getting it in, same thing, very easy. As I said, it doesn't take this long usually, but because I've put on double straps, it increases my overall time for getting these lenses in. So you just slot it back in. Just please make sure guys, I've seen guys putting their mask on or putting their lenses back in, and this piece over here is still gapping out like that. It's not in properly guys, so please just make sure this thing doesn't pop out on you when you're playing games, because I have seen someone play a full game with it, and yeah, it was really scary actually, and I pulled the guy over to the side and just helped him fix the mask. Okay, so basically, don't know if you can see that, but that's the hinge system with the little hook. So basically then you just tug on it, wait for an audible click. Okay, mine just clicked now. Same thing with the other side. There you go, there's the click, and that's your lens in. So as you see, overall it's a very fast change system, and yeah, not much really you can say about it, but it's a very quick fast system, quick change system, sorry. And yeah. Alright, so as you saw guys, overall the i4 is a very easy mask to actually manage and wash and everything like that, just because of how quick and easy the actual hinge system comes apart. So what are my overall views on the i4? I really like this mask. If I wasn't playing, if I had to choose another mask other than my events, my eFlex, sorry, I would go for this mask. I would definitely play with it, but the only con about it is, as I said, the venting. That's a little slightly off to my liking, because as soon as you start screaming or as soon as you start breathing, all of that sound just rushes to the back of your head, and it's a little off-putting. Also, as well, I have heard a few complaints about people with these masks in particular, especially the bigger guys. It's a very small mask, so your face has to be in a sensible size to actually fit this mask. Otherwise, your chin hangs out, and as soon as you start speaking or screaming, your chin comes right out, and it kind of kills off the fact of having a mask if everything sticks out. So just be careful of that. If you do have a big face, or you think you have a big face, I'd suggest go into a store, preferably Blazer Triggers, or as I said, any store that stocks this mask, which will be probably most of them. Go in, have a fitting, make sure nothing sticks out on the side of the mask, especially your chin, because it hurts like hell when you get clogged in the chin. But just give it a test fit before you actually physically say, okay, yeah, I want it. But I've got a fairly long face, and I do fit it pretty well. I think my chin sticks out slightly, but not enough. You see, as you see there. So my chin does not stick out actually. It does when I actually talk or something. It does stick out slightly. So that's also one of the cons about it. So just be careful on that. Other than that, everything else is just in the plus side, and I think that's the reason why it's one of the most popular masks. Sorry guys, memory card just ran out of memory. But as I was saying, it's a great mask. Just be careful of the cons. So face being too big, can you take the fact that you're going to be screaming at yourself while you're actually talking to your players? But other than that, pros outweigh the cons, and you got the easy change system. You got the biggest field of vision for any mask out there at the moment. So yeah, give a comment if you want anything changed. I know there's a lot to work on, but as I said, it is our first video. And yeah, subscribe guys. Enjoy. Cheers.